What is going on, YouTube? It is your boy Tropical NHL back at it again for a brand new YouTube video. Today we're going to be talking about Montreal Canadiens prospects because you guys seem to enjoy when I give you guys updates about Montreal Canadiens prospects. And today we're going to be talking about the Montreal Canadiens prospects, the Habs prospects that have the most chance on cracking the lineup next season, the prospects that have the highest chance into making a team. In my opinion, we're going to talk about 4 Montreal Canadiens prospects, like I said, that have a shot at making a team. It's still really unlikely. I mean, the Montreal Canadiens have a lot of players, so all those players are most likely going to be starting in junior or in Laval, but I wouldn't be surprised if some of them play a couple of games here and there, and if they do good, maybe even stay with the team with the Montreal Canadiens. You never know. The Montreal Canadiens are going to prioritize the young guys before guys like Joel Armia and Mike Hoffman, for example. So if one of those players play a couple of games and they do good, they're going to stay. They're going to stay, and Mike Hoffman is going to go in the stands. So yes, before getting into that, I apologize for the lack of uploading. I've been really busy with outside of YouTube stuff. So yes, and there's nothing much really going on with the Montreal Canadiens, and I don't want to make videos talking about nonsense stuff. So yes, I'm going to be starting uploading a lot more videos during the month of August, and I'm going to be posting 2 videos a day when rookie camp and training camp is going to start. So if you don't want to miss that out, I strongly suggest you to subscribe and turn on post notifications. We're trying to get the 5K subscribers before the start of the season. So if you could help me out with that, that would be awesome. Let's try and get 100 likes for this video. That would be amazing as well. Oh yes, the 4 players that I think have a shot into making the team. I'm going to go in order. The 4th highest chance to the 1st highest chance. So yes, the 4th player that has the highest chance into making the team, in my opinion, is Owen Beck. Owen Beck is at the number 4 because he is the youngest of the players I'm going to be talking about today. He got drafted in the 2021 NHL entry draft, 33rd overall. First pick of the 2nd round by the Montreal Canadiens. He played with the Mississauga Steelheads, and he got traded to the Peterborough Petes. He made it all the way through the Memorial Cup, and he had a pretty decent season. He even played a game with the Montreal Canadiens this year on an emergency recall. You know, with the Montreal Canadiens had a ton of injuries, and in that game he did pretty well. Passes Bouillon is a coach in development for the Montreal Canadiens, and he said that Owen Beck was one of the players, one of the prospects that is closest to be ready to play in the NHL. I think he would most likely be ready to play in the NHL in some ways, like his defensive game, his hockey vision are really great. He isn't physically ready, though, to play in the NHL. So personally, I think that even though I think he is ready, he would be doing pretty well in the NHL. It's better to send him down to junior, let him dominate over there with the Peterborough Petes, and maybe the season after he's going to make the team. Let's just say Owen Beck is the 3rd line center of the future for the Montreal Canadiens, and he's most likely going to be playing games over the next 2 years for the Montreal Canadiens, and he is going to be a part of the future, that's for sure. And the 3rd player with the highest chance into making a team for the Montreal Canadiens is a prospect that got selected in the 5th round in the 2021 NHL entry draft, and it's Joshua Roy. By the way, I said 2021 NHL entry draft for Owen Beck, but of course it was a mistake. It was in 2022. But yeah, Joshua Roy, after dominating midget Triple A when he was younger, was playing with the Chevalier de Lévis. He got drafted 1st overall in the QMJHL with the Sea Dogs of St. John. He got into some trouble with the organization. His attitude had a couple of problems here and there. But when he got drafted by the Montreal Canadiens, it kind of woke him up, and he started producing like crazy, working on himself, and he became the player he was supposed to become when he got drafted 1st overall in the QMJHL. Joshua Roy, back in 2017, when he was still in midget Triple A, was expected to be a 1st round pick in the NHL, and he slided all the way down to the 5th round because of COVID, because of his attitude. And when he got selected by the Montreal Canadiens, it woke him up. He had a change on his attitude, and he became a really good player. We saw him playing with Connor Bedard at the World Junior Championship. This guy has a bright future. Some people expect him to become a point-per-game player because of his production in the QMJHL. Joshua Roy is not going to be a superstar, but Joshua Roy is going to be a very versatile and efficient NHL player. He worked on his defensive game. He is now a guy that could be a really great partner to Owen Beck, playing on the 3rd line in the future for the Montreal Canadiens, getting some power play time, getting some PK time, being versatile, being able to being placed on the top 6, even on the first line if there's some injuries. This is what you're going to get with Joshua Roy. He's most likely going to be playing in Laval next season. And yes, we might see him play a couple of games here and there with Montreal Canadiens. And if he does good, you never know, he might even stay, because this guy is really, really good, and he's going to be a part of the future for the Montreal Canadiens, that's for sure. The player with the second highest chance into making the team, in my opinion, is a pretty controversial guy. I mean, he got selected by the Montreal Canadiens in the last draft of Marc Bergevin. He is the last first round pick that Marc Bergevin selected, and it's Logan Mailloux. You guys guessed it. He got into some problems in justice. He did some things wrong, and I think he learned from it. I think we need to go through it. He still is a young guy. He still has some learning to do. He worked on himself, and I think that we need to look at that before looking at what he did in the past. I am a guy that believes in forgiveness, and I think that we should do that with Logan Mailloux. He did not kill anybody. Yes, it was bad what he did. Yes, he got the consequences. He got through it, and he worked on himself. So I'm going to believe in him, and I'm going to give him a second chance. He's a heck of a hockey player, and he's going to meet with Gary Bettman. He's going to let him probably play in the NHL most likely, because he worked on himself and he took the consequences. He really grew from that. And I think that he is the most physically ready out of all the prospects to play in the NHL. He still lacks a couple of things. He needs to work on the decision making. Sometimes he makes some really, really horrendous passes, but overall, he's been really, really solid playing with the London Knights. And we saw him at the development camp. He was one of the most dominant players. So the Montreal Canadiens have a heck of a hockey player in Logan Mailloux, and he finished his junior stage this year. So he's going to be either playing in Laval or with the Montreal Canadiens. But like I said in my starting lineup video, I wouldn't be surprised if he plays a couple of games at the start of the season before getting sent down, just to see what he can bring. Because like Francis Bouillon said, him and Owen Beck are the closest to be NHL ready in terms of hockey IQ, in terms of what they could bring into a team. And yes, Logan Mailloux is most likely, if he get the authorization coming from Gary Bettman, gonna play a couple of games here and there for the Montreal Canadiens. And like I said with all the other players, if he does good, he is gonna stay. Number 1 might be a bit surprising for a lot of people, but I think that personally, even though Francis Bouillon did not talk about him, that he is the player that is the closest to be NHL ready for the Montreal Canadiens. And I think that he is NHL ready, and I think that he might even be able to perform playing on the top 6 role. He is a guy that has been playing with adults for years. He is a guy that got selected by the Florida Panthers, then traded to the Calgary Flames, then traded to the Montreal Canadiens in the Tyler Toffoli trade. He's been playing with adults for years, like I've been saying. He's been playing with adults since 2020. He's used to it. He's physically ready. He's a bit older than all the other guys. He's 21, and he started playing with Laval at the professional level at the end of last season, and he completely dominated, getting 7 goals in 11 games, 2 assists for 9 points. And yes, you guys guessed it, I'm talking about Emil Heineman. Emil Heineman is a guy we seem to be forgetting a lot about. I haven't been hearing much people talking about him during the summer, but Emil Heineman is the real deal. I could definitely see Emil Heineman being a light version of a Max Pacioretty, for example. He plays a similar type of game, but he is more physical in his play. He is a type of power forward that has a really, really great shot, that goes in the slots, that takes shots. He is going to be a great goal scorer for the Montreal Canadiens, and I think that he has that top 6 potential, and I think that he might even be already ready to play on the top 6 role, and I think that he is the guy that is most likely going to make the team. I think that he is going to make the team. I think he's going to come at training camp and simply dominate and show how good he is. So yes, Emil Heineman is going to be a Montreal Canadiens this year. He's going to play some games, and he is going to be really good. Really, really nice acquisition from that trade. We often talk about Philippe Machard being the main return in the Tyler Toffoli trade, but I honestly think that Emil Heineman is going to be the best player out of this trade, and he could be a similar type of player to what Tyler Toffoli was for the Montreal Canadiens in more of a light version. But yes, really, really good prospect for the Montreal Canadiens and Emil Heineman. And I think that he is the guy that has the highest chances into making the team next year for the Canadiens. So yes, let me know what you guys all think about this in the comments below. Give me your top 4 prospects that have the highest chance into making a team for the Habs as soon as this season. Subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, share, do anything as you want. Join the Discord, the link is in the description, and I'll see y'all later for another video. Have a nice rest of your day, and bye-bye.